You're tuning into the X Factor of Safety. I'm your host, Pedro Maciel. Here at the X Factor of Safety, we like to discuss industry topics, both safety and not safety. We dive into daily lives of safety pros and various industry leaders, digging deep and finding out what their X Factor is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, all day long.
He is a, well, we have both consoles. We have all kinds of consoles, but he loves PlayStation.
Oh my God. Yeah, we can't be friends no
No,
more.
the superiority, I can't even never get him started. But he appreciates Xbox. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. Any streamer or anybody that does games, you have to appreciate both consoles because they have their pros and cons, for both of them. And I've always stuck with Xbox just because Microsoft is really easy to use, and then I just like the games, the graphics, and it's gonna blow PS5 out of the water. So,
oh no, fighting words.
Mm-hmm.
Them's fighting words.
Them is fighting words.
Yeah, no, I myself have gotten. I don't want to say addicted, but I love virtual reality gaming, like so much to the point that I'm starting to learn C# for a game that I'm creating.
Wow.
So it's taking forever, but I'm learning to develop on Unity outside of my regular job that has nothing to do with writing code and developing games. So
hey, we all have to find that happy medium outside of what we do normally. I podcast. It's entertaining. It's enjoying. I feel very fulfilled when I get to talk to new people. And, granted, I talk to people all day long, but being here behind the mic and, then I get to play with my voice a little bit afterwards in the post-production. Yeah, it works out pretty good.
Yeah, I like recording things too. It's pretty cool. But I think next level for me, I think learning C# or just some sort of programming language. I mean, it's not going to go away. Like, right. And someday I'm going to be an old lady, right? Like you're going to be old. Nobody wants to see any old lady out on the job site. Like, get out of here. Right. So, and I'll be like tired from all the army and construction stuff. So I'll just want to be coding at my desk. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my goal, at least. That's my goal.
That'll be, it's perfectly fine. And again, the fact that you can do something outside of what you're normally doing, always have, in a sense, something to fall back on. And you're always learning something new. Like I learned how to podcast. Great. And I'm actually also learning to code in Dreamweaver and building websites. Oh. And yeah, it's kind of interesting. I haven't really dabbled a whole lot, but I'm starting to get the language. I really want to learn C# because the app development and gaming is all around C# and Python. So it's
so much of it, and even at a bunch of my jobs, a bunch of the development was in C#. So it's just really really multifaceted, useful programming language. Although there's a bunch, and I know everybody has their camps. They're like, I'm on. Like our friend the other day is like, I love .NET. I'm like, well, I'm learning C#. I have a certain goal I need to hit, and it's C# is the path. So that's what I'm doing. Well, you should start learning .NET. I'm like, it's not the same. Mm-hmm. Like, what are you thinking?
No, it's not. And old school HTML. I remember taking a computer science class back in middle school, high school. It's just so much. C# is it's easier, but there's so much if you miss a character and you put it in the wrong heading or the wrong line, then the entire thing's just all thrown off.
Yeah, I think that happens with a lot of stuff. I was doing a bunch of SQL at my last job just to pull info from, databases, and same thing. I mean, you have one little spot wrong and then it messes everything up. So I'm not daunted.
No, but but again, it goes back to having, that underneath your belt and learning it, and then being able to, something that you learn, you use forever and ever, because again, it's not going away. It's going to be here.
Exactly.
It is going to be here. That is, that's for sure. Technology is going to be advanced. C#, Python, and then whatever new, coding comes about. It's here to stay. That's the way of the future.
I know. And then I'm having to learn some other, just by nature of doing videos on the job site and trying to just mesh and meld and do different things. You're forced to really upgrade your audio visual editing skills. So so my second MOS or job that I had in the Army was broadcast journalist, but my first one was radios and ComSec and electronics. So essentially I was an electronics technician, just reading schematics and, switching out component level things on circuit cards and doing crypto stuff so the enemy couldn't hear. But then I reclassed to broadcast journalist because I was like, wow, the Army has broadcast journalists? Freaking amazing. So I re-upped for that, and they teach you everything up at Fort Meade, Maryland. How to shoot your own video, write your own stories, edit it, do the lighting, everything, which was pretty neat because a bunch of the other branches that were training with us, they didn't get the whole deal. They would either learn camera or they would learn writing or they would learn how to, I don't know, just one little section of it. But we got all of it at the time that I went. Nice. But I kind of forgot a bunch of it, but wow, I'm being forced to relearn it just on my own because it's pretty fun sharing all of this construction info out there, and there's definitely a void. So why not fill it, right?
Exactly. Now, I know sometimes at construction sites, there's no cameras or no photos. Obviously, you go through the approval process. But no, and that's what really sparked my interest to have you on the show. And we've been recording, by the way, listeners, we've been recording already in this great conversation you'll get at the beginning. So let's go ahead and start the show. Welcome back to the X Factor Safety. I have the one, the only shoring ninja, Kitty Rodriguez, here with us today. You may have seen her on LinkedIn. That's where I found her and looked at all her content and what she's putting out there. And then construction is just my cup of tea. So, but I'll let Kitty introduce herself.
All right, absolutely. Yep, I am Kitty Rodriguez, and I've been working in the construction industry now for, about 3.5 years. But even though I wasn't in construction before, I was in other really industrial settings, also known as the U.S. Army. So I did that, and when I had gotten out of the Army, I was running an industrial scale repair shop. So still fixing electronics and calibrating and fixing batch plant scales for the cement factories and places and quarries and all kinds of stuff. But that's me. And now I work for Sunbelt Rentals as an excavation shoring rep. And I love it because it's not boring. So I think the human mind really loves a challenge, and especially mine. I can't just do mundane work. I really love to be creative, and I really love that, creative freedom to make my own way and make my own success. That's really critical to who I am. And so that's what I do. I mostly work in and around the Tampa Bay area, down through Naples and kind of right towards Lakeland and a little bit north of that. But our contractors, they have jobs everywhere. So wherever their job is where I help them get things taken care of. Nice.
And you said you work for Sunbelt, and that's anybody in construction knows who Sunbelt is. We've seen we've seen Sunbelt Rentals and but how did you get into shoring?
Right. So, how did I get into shoring? So I had been working in, I don't know, regular old corporate America, and I had made it really essentially to the top of running college campuses for the recruitment process. And like I opened a new location for University of Phoenix, which is the largest private university in the nation, in North America. Mm-hmm. And so I was opening new campuses for them and everything. But man, one day I was like, oh my gosh, I need to get back to like working with people who just are common sense, and they're not like all about, I don't know, superficial things. And it's just like normal people that aren't there to give you a headache. And so I made it a point to start, looking towards more industrial, like oil and gas. And then all of a sudden, one of my old top performer reps called me, and he's like, "Hey, Kitty, I'm applying for this position to be to run this huge, company, dirt hauling, and I need a supervisor reference. Will you be my reference?" I'm like, "Of course, you were always a top performer. I got you." And then a couple weeks later, he called me. He's like, "Thank you, I got the job." I'm like, "Woohoo!" And then I was like, "Clay, I want your old job." And he's like, "What? Why? You're a senior director." I'm like, about to be a VP. I'm like, no, I mean, I could, but I don't want to. It's just not fun. Like you really lose the funness and the customer contact, and you can still be creative, but it's just different. You just have a lot more people and process managing, which is fine. I can do it. It's just not, what I live for. And he's like, "Oh, you'd be so good at it. Okay, I'll call the people, blah, blah." And I interviewed and went through the entire process, which was still lengthy. But I got the job. So, nice. And I love it.
That's awesome. So how did the name or nickname Shoring Ninja come about?
So the company that I was working for before was called Maybe Bridge and Shore, or just Maybe, and they did shoring and bridging, same thing I'm doing now. Mm-hmm. And Sunbelt actually acquired us, and so now we're the whole shoring arm of Sunbelt. But at one of our annual sales conferences, they brought in a sales speaker, and he had some books, and so I got one of his books. Maybe I got two of his books, but one of them I was reading, that you should make a name for yourself. And so I thought of that, and it works. It's pretty cool. You have like a moniker that people know you about, and people know me when I'm out at a pre-bid meeting or on a job site. I'll be sitting in a job trailer talking about, upcoming shoring needs. And all of a sudden, this other sub comes in. And I'm like, "Hey, I'm Kitty Rodriguez, shoring specialist." And they're like, "You're the shoring ninja. I know you. We're connected on LinkedIn." I'm like, "That's freaking awesome." Or same at pre-bid meetings or anywhere. So that's pretty neat. I'm impressed, and I was happy to get that bit of info. So, reading a sales book.
No, and it's good because it's who you are, and you're out there loving your job, and it's the brand behind your name, the Shoring Ninja, and promoting Sunbelt, but Kitty Rodriguez, the Shoring Ninja, and I love it. The Shoring Ninja.
Yeah, and I am a bit of a fighter, so it kind of fits because there was a bunch of other options. I was thinking, and I'm like, "Oh, I really like this one. It's a little feisty, but still refined." So.
No, and it works. It goes really well. And then, when you're doing your videos, and I love your videos and the way you do them, and it's all selfie videos, and you're giving us all the information of what's going on. And, "Hey, it's Kitty Rodriguez, a shoring ninja." Bam. Right there. That one liner, it catches everybody's attention. It caught my attention when I first seen you. So, that it's great. And, people don't know Pedro Maciel unless they listen to X Factor Safety. But anyways.
They probably do.
So with that being said, I seen your video that you posted with you in the silo. How was that?
Oh, yeah. That's so that was really cool. So I had never, I'd never been in a silo, and I really wanted to learn about that slip form process and just that monolithic core, because I don't know, because it just takes a lot of manpower and intensity, and it just, that silo was so friggin' huge when I got in there. It was just stunning, and there's just really no other feeling. I mean, there's just a hard way to describe it, because it's just so monstrous, so big. And it was impressive. And I wanted to share that because a lot of people, who else has been in a silo? There's probably a good subset, right, of people, but there's probably also a very large subset that hadn't been in one and that just didn't know. So one thing with that video, though, that I try to be really conscious of is the length. And I feel like that video got a little long, which was a little frustrating to me, but I wanted to get the info out. So sometimes you have to battle info versus, what am I just going to post it and get all the info out, or I'm going to shorten it. And a lot of times I shorten them, but I just posted that one because I didn't have a lot of time. So let's just be real here.
Yeah, no, it was a good, what was his name? The
Steve.
one that was Steve. How he was explaining how, the slip forming worked. And a little bit of backstory. I have been in silos and big, what we call widow makers and hydrocrackers inside the oil, the chemical plants down here in Texas and, all over the country. So it's very interesting, especially once you get down to the bottom. You vacuum everything out and you go all the way to the bottom, and they open a manhole and you look up and, the hole that you're went in was pretty big. When you're down at the bottom, you're looking at it, it's like very small.
Exactly.
So, but it's interesting that you were able to experience that, because like you said, not very many people do.
Yeah.
But me being an ex-submarine guy, I've been in it was in a horizontal silo and we went underwater and came up. So that was that's
what you used to be, a sub guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, how long did you do that?
6 years.
Oh man, that's intense.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your service, because that job sucks.
Thank you for
maybe
your
it doesn't suck. I mean, people don't get mad at me. I'm just saying, I think it'd be tough. That's what I'm saying. It'd be tough.
You have to. It takes a certain type of person to go on a submarine and say, yes, I'm gonna willingly go, far up underneath the water in hopes that I come back up. So they call us submariners crazy. Yeah.
I mean, it's for long spans of time too. It's not like you're coming back up every day. Like you are down there for a long time.
Yes, and luckily I was on a fast attack, so we didn't go underneath that long like a boomer would. They do the longer 6-month stints, and you have your gold crew and blue crew and fast attacks. We actually got to hit a whole bunch of ports, so I got to visit a lot of places overseas.
Oh, that's great.
But it was but yeah, I mean, there was times where you'd stay underwater for 2 weeks. There'd be times where you stay underwater for 2 months. And
wow.
Yeah.
I've had my fair share of jobs that weren't great. Like when I was that scale technician, I'd go to industrial places like meat packing plants, and they would just get blood all over my tools and my toolbox and my multimeter. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? You're just sweeping and spraying the blood right where I'm trying to fix your freaking scale. Like, what are you guys doing? Or like a ton of dairy factories, or I've been under the Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport tarmac in the middle of July, fixing the plane scales and burning the heck out of myself, like everywhere you go down the manhole, you're getting burned. So
sizzling.
Yeah, exactly. So I understand crazy jobs. It's fine. Makes us tougher.
Yeah, it does. It does. And those that have not experienced a tough job, we highly suggest you try some of these tough jobs, especially if you're trying to get a feel for your work culture and what they go through on a daily. And you're sitting in a nice cool office. Hey, put on some jeans, put on one of the t-shirts that you don't mind getting dirty, and go out to the field and see how they get down, because they'll gain a lot of respect for you, and you will definitely gain a lot of respect for them. Just my 2 cents.
It's true. I 100% agree. And that also goes with leading from the front.
Yes.
So don't have your people go do something that you won't go do. That is really annoying. I was never a leader like that. Like, you got to go with them.
Oh yeah. And I like the picture. There's a picture that was circulating on LinkedIn a while back, but it's of the wolves walking, and it breaks down each part of the pack. Your younger ones are up at the front. You have your weak, in a sense, your elderly that are right in the middle, and then right behind that you have the leaders of the pack, making sure everybody is getting to where they need to go safely. I've been in that position of corporate America, corporate safety director, and but luckily I know where I come from and what I did prior to getting into corporate America. So that guys, gals, if you're in corporate America and in construction, industry, in industrial manufacturing, even excavating, just doing excavations, go out there and get with your people, lead from the front, show them that you care, show them that you're there. So yeah, I'll stop ranting now.
I agree with that. I mean, it can't be said enough. A lot of people don't do it. So.
So what advice would you give somebody that's wanting to get into shoring?
I would say probably it depends on which type of shoring, right? But I guess as a shoring rep, because there's shoring installers and shoring companies. But I don't know. I would somehow get your foot in the door somewhere where shoring is used, or just get around it, whether it's with sheet pile or whether you're doing something with trench boxes, which are shields, not shoring. Mm-hmm. But everybody calls it shoring, but don't worry, we say shields. But, just doing something to get in and around it. And it could even be a construction company, and goodness knows there's probably some opportunity on a pipe crew somewhere. So there's a lot of pipe crews or underground utilities out there. And luckily, that's one area of the market that is not going to go away even in a recession, because we need our sewers going. Yeah. I'm just saying, I love the sewer. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's great creation.
Yeah. Yes, it is. It gets, and pardon my French, shit where it needs to go.
That's right. That's right. And it's great. I love it. I mean, it's really valuable in our society, and I'm a big fan.
It creates a lot of jobs if you're into the construction, into like you said, the pipeline, and there's always opportunity everywhere, because every city, every state in America has some type of sewer system somewhere. Unless you're out in the country, but you still have a sewer system that you have to connect to somehow, some way.
Exactly. And the shoring and the shielding is just really great, in my opinion, again, because you get to be creative. You have to think. Like, I have to think. Like, I get called to, job site walks or emergency site visits. Like, hey, we're losing this side of the wall. This hill is coming down. We got to shore it back because we got a bunch of concrete work that's happening right down here. Or we're afraid we're going to lose this part of the building, or whatever the case. Or, hey, we're about to dig down and do a natural gas pipeline test, and there's a big traffic light and electricity pole here, so we need you to make sure it's not going to fall. And I love it because you gather all the variables, and then you just figure it out. And some of the way more complicated ones, luckily Sunbelt has on staff engineers, so we have a huge team of engineers spread across the country of course, I work with the ones here in Florida who know the soil and know all the craziness of water that we deal with all the time. And then they help me come up with a plan. And it's just really fun because it's different all the time. And I like my brain to be working.
Yeah, it keeps you on your toes, because
exactly.
If you're just standing still or behind a computer for 8 hours, I mean, it's just, it's no fun. It's no fun.
Exactly.
And again, being out in the field, being, and seeing different job sites, like you said, you have an emergency at one, job site visit at the other, and then they're asking you, hey, how do we go about fixing this? Because we want to stay safe. And, it like you said, keeps the mind going. It keeps the interaction and engagement. And then, they know that Shore Ninja's coming to the rescue. She's going to come help us out.
That's right.
And it goes a long way. And then, you build that rapport, and then you have repeat customers that, come to Sunbelt for their shoring needs.
Well, that's exactly right. Yeah. In the beginning, I had to build my customer base. I did not have that. So it took a while, but it's pretty great because now people, know me by name, or they refer me to their contractor buddies, or maybe they leave one company and they go to a new one. And they're like, hey, you did this project with us. Can you take a look at this one and see what it needs? So it's pretty great. That's what's great with tenure, with finally like, whew, that and knowing a lot of the scenarios. That's
because
I mean, about that.
And it kind of goes to the the wash and repeat, because you've seen it in one place, you might see it again in another, and you just keep repeating, and not only repeating but refining the process. Because, again, not all job sites are going to be the same, but similarities exist within each job site that, okay, that's a pipeline, that's a sewer, this is a new foundation. Guess what? I know what I'm going to need. And
exactly.
it
That's exactly right. Because then I just know more of my stuff now. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
Back when I started, I'm like, let me look that up. Let me go ask somebody. But luckily, that's all I do. That's the great thing about being a specialist too, is I'm not having to do other things. I'm not even having to do structural shoring, like propping up buildings and bridges. I have a counterpart that does that in Sunbelt. So I feel like if I was having to do multiple things, then, I just couldn't be a specialist in that, because I'd be a jack of all trades. And I just like knowing all the different scenarios that exist. So I'm appreciative of that.
That's awesome. So what type of impact do you want to make with your videos? Now, mind you, folks, these videos that Kitty puts out, they're very informative. They give you an idea of what's going on at a construction site, at, what kind of shoring needs. So we'll let her explain what kind of impact you can get out of these videos and what she wants to bring.
Absolutely. My main goal and impact is, number one, just to get the word out about shoring in and around Tampa Bay and Florida, and really all over the nation. Because let's face it, that's just another way to get out there and see my people, right? That maybe I can't get to, because you can only do so much driving in one day and visiting. And then plus it's hard while I'm a shoring specialist, so I'm niche, there's a lot of things within my niche, right? So I got a call last week, a phone call, and the guy was asking for some questions about my sheet pile capping system. It is kind of an obscure type of product, even within the construction industry. Even a lot of regular construction guys have no idea what a sheet pile cap is, and even more don't know what a capping system is. So. And I had been looking for the last 3 years for something good, online, that can just that's modern, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not and this is what you do with the capping system, and this is what it should. No, I wanted something a little more punchy and a little more digestible. That's our audience these days. right?
Yes.
There's a company called ThinkGeek. It used to be a company. Now it got bought out by GameStop.
Mm-hmm.
And but before they were bought out, their website and their each thing that you could buy on their website was described and depicted in really punchy, like attention grabbing ways. And it's really like, I don't know why more companies do it. Don't do it. It's really groundbreaking, but not rocket science, because comedy is it's no secret that that's one of the biggest sellers or attention getters of people who are like 18 to 50 years old. Like that's what it is. So why not make more things funny? Plus life is stressful enough, right? And so anyways, that kind of is my even though those are descriptions and stuff, I'm kind of inspired by good old ThinkGeek, for those of you guys that remember that. Mm-hmm. Their descriptions and just the way they sold all their sci-fi geeky gaming merchandise. I'm totally sci-fi geeky gaming. Yeah. And so I kind of forgot what question you asked, but
what kind of impact are you trying to bring?
Oh, the impact. Yeah. So to get the word out, and then also to educate. So somebody called me for that sheephog capping system, and then I'm like, hey, now how did you get my number? How did you know to call me? He's like, I saw your video. And I'm like, you saw my video? Where'd you see it? Was it on YouTube, LinkedIn? Where was it? Because I post some stuff on LinkedIn, or not LinkedIn, YouTube, but I don't really push it out anywhere. So it doesn't really get a following. It's like, I just saw it online. You did the one with the capping system and that fella who said it like brought his time down tremendously. I'm like, yes, it's like 50%. Like he got it done 50% faster than the estimators said he was going to do it because of my system. And all kinds of other great things. That's an example of like a 10-minute clip that I had to clip down to 1 minute. But yeah, so that's the impact, just getting the word out, letting people know what products I have, especially because they're weird and people just have no idea who to call. And so I just want them to know, and entertaining. I'm not really a funny person. I try, but
no, your
sometimes
video.
I'm funny, sometimes I'm not. But
your videos actually are, entertaining. They're informative, and they're very, like you said, punchy, catchy, comedic, and that's great. And that's what actually drew me to watching your videos and looking at the content that you're putting out there. Because again, if you see a lot of people that are, putting a bunch of content out there, back to back, but there's no quality with it. They're going more for quantity.
Right. I've seen that too.
Whereas you're not posting every day, but when you do post, it's quality content. It's a good video, good audio, a good backstory that, hey, you got my eye. You got me in the first 3 seconds. I'm watching until the end. So, and that's the podcast. Yeah. If you come listen to it, great. If not, it's it is what it is. It'll be there for when you need Kitty Rodriguez to explain, how she loves gaming and, how she got somebody involved off of the videos that we're talking about.
Oh my gosh. So I am planning something really funny, like a little series that should be hilarious. All I'm going to tell you is that it involves a trench box. So nice. So I am hoping that it turns out good. I'm working on some audio things to make sure I capture the audio, because the audio is what's going to make it hilarious. Awesome. Audio on a construction site. I'm going to have to do a lot of bleeping. So I don't want to get in trouble. Look, we live in this society where you have to be super careful. And people might say a swear word on a construction site, so I'm going to have to bleep it. But I do think it will be pretty funny. I have high confidence that this little series bit I'm going to do will be successful. So cross your fingers.
Oh, I'm rooting for you. I mean, I am rooting for you, Kitty. And those in corporate America that think that the construction site is, without profanity, yeah, you might need to get out of the office more.
It's
And
unfortunate.
it's very
It's
unfortunate, yes,
unfortunate.
because it's you need to get out of the office more. And not, I am not knocking the corporate America and you folks that are in the
No.
office. You do a great deal, behind the scenes with the KPIs and all the budgeting and estimating and bidding the jobs, and you are very valuable. But go out to the field from time to time, actually see how these guys are rocking and rolling, and that way you can say, hey, I'm estimating this, but guess what? If I know how they actually are doing it or what they actually need, well, guess what? Now my estimating job comes a little bit easier. And then again, that wash and repeat comes into play, because then you're bidding the next job exactly the same way you already know what they're doing.
Exactly. The and I used to be part of corporate America for like ever and honestly, I used my creativity over there too, and it was pretty darn fun. So I mean, and corporate America is also construction, so let's be real, right?
Mhm.
And I'm just saying, maybe whatever company it is, whatever industry, just the stuffy ones, not so fun.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm just saying. But yeah, so hopefully this new bit series I'm gonna do, I have high hopes. So
That's awesome.
in the works.
No, and we look forward to it. You hear that? Here on the X Factor Safety, guess what? We are getting a first look and listen to what is coming from the Shoring Ninja. So stay tuned. What advice would you give a younger you?
What advice would I give? I would give myself a lot of advice, a lot. Let's think. That's a heavy question, my friend.
Stumped you a little bit.
I know. Let me think. Something that I was realizing was just ridiculously helpful to me is probably in my earlier days, I would have started this sooner. I started keeping, so usually I always have one notebook with me so I can write down dimensions for the job that I'm speccing or what have you, like phone numbers and info that I need for the job. And so I just have that one book, and so when I have to go back and reference something, a name or a job site address or something, I'd kind of have to flip through all my notes and my cantilever wall sketches and mock-ups and just a lot of mess, right? So I started keeping a book solely as a log, and it's just line by line. Everybody that I've talked to, every quote request that I've done, what it was for, who it was for, where it was at, and then I have like tick marks, like, do I need to do the engineering, revamp the engineering? Do I need to go do a site visit? Like, do I need to get the geotech, whatever it is? And that has tremendously helped me to make sure that my quotes aren't slipping through the cracks, like the opportunities that I have or the people that I need to follow up with. So that sounds so little and so dumb, but oh my goodness, you have stuff coming at you from all sides, right? So it's just easier for me to do it that way. And then I can go through like, oh, let me go back and do this one. Let me go back and do this one. And yeah, it's easier. And it's better than a to-do list in this industry that I'm at now, because there's just so much more in-depth stuff that I have to do with each, I don't know, let's say opportunity. So
yeah. Definitely. And like you said, the to-do list, now you're keeping a running tab of, your callbacks and who you have to reach out to and who you got to follow up with, and, new business and new clientele that you're getting. And again, what better way to do that than line by line versus like, I'm the same way. I have a bunch of, little notepads and notebooks everywhere. But there is one main notebook that, I go day for day of what happens, what occurrences, who I talk to, and so that way I can. And then every time I'm done, one of my mentors taught me, when you're done with the day, fold that day kind of in half, or you pull down the corner and that day is complete and you move on to the next clean page. But you can then go back and say, hey, on day 1 of July, I know exactly where that page is at and how it's folded, because you alternate each day, and it just makes sense.
Yeah, I put a highlight through the things that I've completed, because I can't get everything done in one day. It's like so hard.
No, who can? I mean, we'd have to have 32 hours in a day in order to get half of the stuff that we want to get done, right?
I know, and all of that plus C#. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, and it's great. So how have you evolved from being in the military, coming out, doing your own thing, and now being where you're at?
How have I evolved? Probably off the top of my head, one of the biggest ways is I used to be way more harsh. Don't judge me. No, but I don't know. I feel like when you're in the Army, you're really straightforward, cut and dry. I don't know, maybe not these days, but that's how it was back in the day. Because, you're trained to do some pretty intense things, and I was active duty. So that's all I did every day, all day. And I didn't get lucky with a nice posh unit. No, not Kitty. Kitty gets like the hardest, like forward support battalion, like 15 miles behind the infantry, which are the guys that walk, right? They're not like armored cav. These poor guys are walking, right? I mean, they have Humvees, but still they're walking. They're the foot soldiers. And so 15 miles behind them, I'm fixing their radios and fixing all their comms and all of that. And I was in the field all the time. So you get a little brash personality, let's say. Maybe not the sweetest. I mean, I wasn't mean, but I was just like, hey, go get that. Let's go. What are you doing? Right? I was air assault, jumping out of helicopters at Fort Campbell, Kentucky with the 101st. And then I went to Germany with Air Defense Artillery Unit, another combat arms. Nice. Not complaining. I know we needed everybody. Yeah. And I love it. I'm just saying it was tough, but probably earlier on. So when I became a manager in corporate America, I did get a sales manager. Like I went up real fast from a rep to a sales manager. I did get a lot of results, and I took my teams like way like number 1 in the whole nation, just super fast. And then I'd nurture other teams and bring them up. But I may have been a little demanding, right? Mm-hmm. I think I've gained more, empathy skills and like skills, just seeing like, hey, instead of my team, say our team, that's a big thing. People really get annoyed with that one. So I've really just, I think, become more aware of how what I say and what I do and how I come across affects other people's mindset. So,
because looking at the videos, you would have never thought that you were a hard ass in the Army. Like,
that's exactly right.
But again, it's that the backstory. And I put a post out earlier today or yesterday, I think it was, but it says, you don't know where you're going till you know where you've been. And I'm a firm believer, everything that we do previous to now has put us in the position, in the place where we're at now. So I'm a firm believer. And again, being in the military, you're taught a certain way, how to walk, how to talk, how to dress, how to eat in a sense. Being on a submarine, got to eat pretty quickly. But we ate pretty good when we were out to sea. I loved it. And I'm a fat boy, so I like to eat. But
I know the military does feed you pretty good. Like you have to admit. I mean, even like early on when we were storming Iraq, or Afghanistan, like in the early days, mm-hmm. They had a Chili's on deployment and like a Subway. Our daughter, our second oldest, she's at basic training right now at Fort Sill, Oklahoma, like right now. And she's training to be a combat medic. Nice. And she got to call us, and she's like, oh my gosh, they made us eat in like 5 seconds. She's like, I was so full. They're making us eat like whole MREs. And she's like, I can't keep eating these. Like, it's fine, they're good, but oh my gosh, I can't eat the whole thing. She's like a slender, muscular, like, strong, petite girl, but she can't stomach a whole MRE. But she's like, I saw people throwing up. Side note, she's like, I also see people crying at the phone, and I'm like, why are you guys crying? That's my girl. That's my girl.
Yeah, nice. And yes, I have 4 daughters, so I definitely instill everything that I've learned in the military, discipline and structure. And my oldest, she can be, she's 15, she can be hard at times, but she definitely knows, why are they crying, Dad? Like,
that's right.
She'll be watching, we'll be watching a show on TV or something, and she'll, see, a guy crying or whatnot. She's like, boys aren't supposed to cry. Guys aren't supposed to cry. Why is he crying?
She's being tough. That's right. That's right.
And I teach them, that they are just as good and strong, if not stronger, than any man that they will ever face in their lifetime.
Nice. Well, good job. Good job.
So with that being said, don't want to get to our final question just yet. So what big plans does the Shoring Ninja have here in the near future? We already heard about your, new series coming out. What else? Where else do you want to take, your videos?
Where do I want to take the videos? I actually just want to get better at editing them, honestly. So I have I have a brother in Boise, Idaho, and he's a videographer, honestly. He's traveled all over the world doing videography, and he worked for Fox News and ABC News as a camera guy. And so I had him doing a couple bits of editing, but he just had a new baby. Gotcha. And I got to learn how to do this myself. But I need to start doing more. I really want to put like that banner across the top and transcribe it, because not everybody can always listen to audio. So probably my editing is really what I'm going to work on.
So, one of the things that I like to use, and those that are listening, here's some free little golden nuggets if you plan on doing any kind of video or audio. I like to use clips on the iPhone, iPad.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
So you get clips, and it actually dictates and listens to what you're saying, and it actually puts the captions on there for you.
That would save time. And then maybe my Sunbelt Rentals and name won't be backwards when I do it. It's selfie mode.
Yeah. And then so
I know that annoys everybody. I'm like, I'm sorry.
So with that, you are able to, with the clips, you're able to, again, put whatever you want at the top, and then it gives you, the option of different types of captions. But then also what I use, like for my audiograms, and you can use it for, what you're doing, because I have a video portion, is headliner. So whenever I post, like, my promotions for the podcast episodes, I take the audio and put it in there. It gives me all the captions for it. You can add videos, so you can do a video with captions, and you'll, it's an app that is fairly easy to use. Somebody told me about it, and I tried it one time, and I've used it since. It's a free version. You get up to, I think it's like 10 free downloads, or you're able to do it in a month, and then anything after that you have to pay for. So it's really easy. It's nice. I like it. It's
that's good to know. I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah,
I know. I used to use Adobe Premiere. and Final Cut
Mm-hmm.
with Apple. I just haven't been doing it in a while, so I don't know how my skills are there. So.
Yeah, I have Premiere. I have the whole Creative Cloud, and that's how I'm trying to learn the Dreamweaver. Yeah, but I have the Premiere Pro, but I haven't been able to actually sit down with it to edit the videos and add the audio and the transitions, and because again, all of this we're recording and it's face to face, but I will eventually put all of these on YouTube, and that way have the YouTube medium as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's great. Yeah, I like the more complicated ones because you can layer all that audio. Mm-hmm. And honestly, audio is what I'm most worried about all the time, because a lot of times when I'm out there on the job site, there's so much loud equipment. Like when I was just at that silo job site, we had to stop and move because the crane was going. We're like, oh, we're not in a good spot. Let's move. And just so many machines are going. And so audio is what I've been studying. So.
And there is a, this might be for your phone, and if that's what you're recording on most of the time, there is an actual, it kind of looks like a shotgun mic that you attach to your phone, hooks up straight through the the charging port, or which you would put wired headphones. It clips to the top, and so when you're shooting, you're closer, you get the audio, crisp sound. I'll shoot you over the what the product number is and where you can find it at.
Yeah, do that. I literally am studying up on I'm going to get a couple more cameras, and I am going to get some mics, because this bit that I'm going to do, if I can't capture the good audio, it's going to be worthless. So that's all I'm going to say there. So I've been looking at different cameras and different mics. So yeah, send me that.
Yeah, definitely. For if you're going to have the audio on your person, the lapel mics, Rode has a good lapel mic that works really well. I think I have that somewhere saved in some cameras.
I do have a lavalier that I got a while back. I'm going to have to see how it's working. Just haven't been using it. They make our phones so easy now. So why use extra gear when you don't have to?
Right.
Yeah. But I'm going to have to use it for this bit segment that I'm doing. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. I'm excited about it.
I am too. That's
because nobody does this stuff. Nobody. Like the poor construction industry being left in the dust. Leadership, you can find a billion things on leadership and all this other stuff, but construction, crickets. Construction people are smart, society. Come on now. Like they like to learn, they know things, so let's lead the way and give them some good things to consume, just like every other industry.
Yeah, definitely. I like being in the construction field because you see the ingenuity at its finest from, people that, have done it for, 10, 15, 20 years, and just some of the things that they do. And granted, and again, from a safety standpoint, some of the stuff is not as safe.
I know.
But coming from a working background before I got into safety, I totally understand. You're trying to, streamline the process, make your job easier by making this, makeshift tool or doing this a certain way. And then that's where I come in and kind of bridge the gap and say, hey, you know what? I understand why you're doing it that way, but let's add this little piece of safety and see if it helps you. If not, we'll reevaluate, pivot and try it, some other way. So exactly.
I mean, even just 10, 15 years ago, a lot of shoring and shielding wasn't used, and there were so many trench collapse deaths and cave-ins and such, and it's tragic. And people are like, nah, I'm just gonna be in there a little bit. I'm like, guys, that's 6 feet deep, loose medium sand. It just crumbles. Look, let's pick it up. And I show them how to do the soil test in your hand. And I'm like, it can collapse. I promise, like I will give it to you for next to nothing, as cheap as I can. Just please use something. It's so simple. You have this Mini X here that my GT buddy from Sunbelt gave you. I know you have that. You have the capability to lift a lightweight aluminum trench box. Like, let's put it in. I can go get the panels in my truck right now. Go get them. So yeah, but luckily a lot of people are more wise now, and they don't want to get their people killed or themselves. So it's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. It's all about the preservation of life. I truly believe in people that are passionate about what they do. You being a shoring ninja and giving that avenue to save lives and new ways, and the engineering that goes behind some of the ways that you're helping folks out. That's what it's all about. It's all about the preservation of life.
Exactly. Agreed. And that's what we do every day. In shoring, we really are safety. That literally is what we do all day.
Yeah.
I was at a job site maybe last month where only part of my gear, I'm going to be really cryptic here. My gear was not installed all the way, and it was pretty deep, and there was a kid down in the pit. And one kid, not kid, but, a young construction guy. And then another young construction guy above. And I'm like, okay, you guys are going to be mad at me. But I can't in good conscience leave this site without telling you that that guy down there really needs to get out of the pit. And so he got him out of the pit. And I'm like, I am not your competent person. I can't tell you what to do. I don't work for your company. I'm just telling you that this equipment, my equipment that's engineered, is not installed safely. And it's not installed all the way. Mm-hmm. And it's not ready for somebody to be down there yet. And I said, it's the end of the day. It's 4:00, you'll be able to finish it tomorrow. And I'll call your super and let them know, hey, I just told you guys, super unsafe. And by not saying something, that's how, Challenger blows up, or Apollo 8, I think it was, because people don't want to say anything because it's stressful, right? So sometimes customers get really ticked off at you, but so I had to show them the science of it, the physics. It's just physics. That's all it is. It's not me. I'm not making the rules. Physics makes the rules. And they saw it. But still, that's what we do is safety. That's it all day. Yeah. That's all I exist for, is to make sure these people don't get killed. So,
and it's awesome. And we greatly appreciate it on the construction site, and those that do not, and one of my good colleagues on LinkedIn posts this all the time. So, because you want to take those extra 5 minutes and you say, I'm only going to be down there, a couple of seconds. Who do we have to call, or who we're going to call when, you end up going? Just think about that. Think about that. Who are we going to have to call? Is it your wife? Is it your kids? Because you wanted to, skip a step, or because, it's only going to be 5 minutes. I'm only going to be down there 5 minutes.
Exactly.
It's not how it works. Not on my watch, at least.
Exactly. We can go on and on about safety. I have all kinds of things in my mind of maybe a slope that's not 1.5 to 1, which we need here with loose medium sand and all kinds of things. But
see, and you got sand, in Florida versus where we're at here in West Texas. It's a lot of hard rock, gravel, granular, it's still possibility of, crumbling on, engulfment, collapse, but there's certain ways to, again, shore it and shield it.
Yep. Shore, shield, or slope, the 3 S's.
And we can go on, like you said, about safety.
Yeah.
Maybe after your new series comes out, we'll have you back on.
That's right. I'm so excited. I think it's going to be good. I hope at least amusing at best, right? Like hopefully a little entertaining. So.
No, it'll be good. I think it'll be good. Yeah. If it's just like the content that you're putting out now, I think it's going to be great. So
awesome. I appreciate that vote of confidence.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Gotta support. So we have come to the end of our show. But before we go, we got one question we need to ask you. What is your X factor?
What is my X factor? I'm guessing I listened to a few of your podcasts, right? I'll be listening to more, but, so I'm thinking that is kind of what I think might set me apart.
Yes, right. That is correct. What makes you Kitty Rodriguez, the shoring ninja? Kitty Rodriguez, the shoring ninja.
Extraordinaire, right? Yeah. I would think that my X factor is just my creativity paired with my zealousness for exciting, fun things, making things fun and exciting and different. I would do that. I've done that in every aspect of my life, like in any job I've had. I just like to make things like way different than everybody else does. I mean, way different. Whether I'm a manager of a sales team or a director of a call center or a shoring rep working with a huge amount of different customers and contractors all day. I just like to just be wildly different. And I like to have a lot of energy. I don't like to be like a stick in the mud because life is really short. Life is super short, and why not make it fun? So even when I was tough back in the day, I did make things super fun. So we did, like my teams always did like super fun things. And me as an individual, I just like to, I don't know, be super different, which who's doing these videos? I don't know of anybody else doing any shoring videos like this.
No.
So, I mean, I welcome them because then I'll get ideas. We can share ideas, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I just like to be different. So yeah, that's it. That's just my creativity, I would say. And exuberance. I think those two, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice. And mind you, people, if you ever email or get an email from Kitty, okay? I'm just putting this out there, She is the intergalactic shoring expert, okay? And
That's
it's
right.
sent from the bridge of the USS Starship Enterprise. Beam me up, Scotty. Okay.
That's right. Did you read the other part I put? Our continuing mission to shore new holes and seek out new excavation challenges to boldly go where no shoring provider has gone before. How great is that? That's perfect. And a perfect ending to our show. So let everybody know where they can reach you at. How do they get in touch with you? All your social media handles. All right. So LinkedIn is the best way. And you can call Sunbelt and ask for me. All of them can get my number. Anybody that answers the phone. And definitely call me if you have shoring questions. Even if you're not in the state of Florida or in and around Tampa, call me because I shore things all over the place. And I have equipment all over the country. But definitely call me if you are in Florida. So with that, Shoring Ninja out.
Awesome. Kitty, greatly appreciate you coming to the show, being up for this. It was a great conversation. I know our listeners are going to get a lot of value out of this and getting a little piece of you and what you stand for. And people, go follow her at all her social media handles. I'll put her LinkedIn profile inside the show notes. I will make sure that you guys connect with her for all your shoring needs. But yes, you know where to reach me at. I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. This has been great. So until next time, we will see you later.
Well, we're at the end of our show. We want to thank you for lending us yours for just a little bit. We hope you were able to get a bit of value out of this episode. We would love to hear from you, so go check us out on the website, thexfactorofsafety.com. Send us an email at xfactorofsafety@gmail.com. You can even give us a call or send us a text message over to our X Factor hotline at 434-381-0723. If you have thoughts or ideas for the show or would like to be featured on the show, reach out and we'll make it happen. So before I go, ask yourself one question. What is your X Factor? Until next time.